Money touches every part of our lives, from the basics of paying rent and buying groceries, to planning for the future and securing opportunities for the next generation. But for many communities, managing money isn't simply a matter of choice or knowledge. It's about navigating a system that often wasn't designed for them. Financial exclusion, rising debt, and a lack of support are realities that millions face every day. In today's programme, Executive TV explores how the UK financial system impacts disenfranchised communities, hear from those on the front lines, and uncover solutions that could change lives. Money A&E is an award-winning social enterprise that provides money advice and education to disadvantaged groups, diverse ethnic communities, and young people. For many ethnic minority communities, accessing fair products comes at a premium. Loans, credit, and banking services often carry hidden barriers, leaving low-income families with products that don't meet their needs.
Over the last few years with COVID-19 and following that cost of living crisis, we have seen a surge for debt advice. So debt advice has increased exponentially, and we do not currently have the capacity to meet that demand. There are not enough debt advisors that can help support that need, and there are not enough debt advice agencies to support that. We've seen 126% rise in personal debts, and that's people just coming into our doors every day.
The COVID-19 pandemic, combined with the ongoing cost of living crisis, has pushed personal debt to alarming levels. Across the country, people are seeking help. But debt advice services are overstretched. The numbers are stark. Many seeking financial support also face mental health challenges, while many struggle with health problems linked to financial stress.
Cost of living crisis has caused a number of different issues. With mental health problems and challenges that are linked to debt, we're seeing up to 25% of our clients are facing mental health problems, up to 90% have health problems generally. So that's one of the big things. Another big thing we're seeing is that personal debt is on the rise. That means that people are facing more priority debts like rent and mortgages, which basically means that they're at risk of being made homeless, and they're struggling with normal utility bills like gas and electricity, and having to make choices around whether or not they need to heat for themselves or eat for themselves. What do they spend their money on? So really stark consequences for people if they're not making the right money choices. Things like homelessness, starvation, disconnection from essential services, and those key mental health problems that we spoke about as well. So in terms of the financial sector and the current state, we see a number of different issues, and what we have seen is something we call the ethnicity premium, and that basically means that people are discriminated against in the financial services and systems within the UK. So the people that we see coming in our doors are people from low-income communities and diverse ethnic communities, and we see that products are discriminatory towards them. And what that means essentially is that many products are not designed with them in mind and do not suit them. So that can look like high-cost products. It can look like inappropriate access, no access to certain products and services, and that might be through things like credit scoring. It also means that a number of people are facing what is called financial distress as a result of having inappropriate products referred to them.
Financial well-being starts with core skills. Teaching these skills builds resilience, creates opportunities for long-term prosperity, and even helps build generational wealth.
I think there are three critical skills that are needed for financial well-being today. The first is being able to budget appropriately. I think the second is really being able to find some of those really good deals out there. And the last is knowing where to go to get that support in a crisis. We're seeing that by teaching people financial resilience skills and knowledge, that this is something that penetrates communities, families, and leads to long-term financial resilience and prosperity. We also believe that this will lead to a kind of generational wealth, which is a legacy of passing down those knowledge and skills, and people being more resilient against debt and having the money that they need to live the lives that they want for themselves, live their best lives. So we believe that financial education is a life skill. And we believe it should be within the national curriculum and in school education. But at the moment, it's not culturally relevant, it's not consistent, it's not tested, and we believe it needs to be tested and of a high quality. That's currently not happening, and this is a key life skill.
Peer-to-peer learning makes financial lessons relatable and impactful. Communities don't just share knowledge, they multiply it, helping people retain lessons, apply them in real life, and support each other through challenges.
So community is really powerful. We believe in the power of peer education and using lived experience in that. So lived experience is really key. You're more likely to take on board the advice and information and skills that you see of someone who looks like you, comes from the same community as you, and who understands it and has shown you proof that by employing those skills and that knowledge, it really works for them. So we found that's really powerful and impactful in the delivery. So community is key and lived experience is key in that too. So peer-to-peer learning is really important. As we talked about, I've talked about lived experience and how that's very impactful when you're learning from someone who looks like you and who has been through the same experiences as you or comes from the same community. They get you. And peer-to-peer learning is very powerful. It therefore means that the learner often takes on those learning and skills and sticks to it for longer and employs it more importantly. And it has more impact for them and it's more effective.
Financial guidance isn't a one-size-fits-all. Trust and empathy are essential, especially when dealing with benefits or debt. Lived experience bridges the gap between professional strategy and the realities people face every day.
We provide a culturally sensitive money mentoring program for 14 to 22-year-olds. This program helps instill key money management habits that can last people a lifetime. It enables a group of mentors to train a whole community so they can train their schools. They get a qualification in it as well. And what we often do is try and link this up with some key employers as well, so they get employability skills from public and private sector employers. So they'll get financial capability skills alongside employability skills as well. Financial guidance needs to be tailored to culturally diverse communities because you're more likely to take on and have a product that's more effective if it's based on your own cultural values, it's based on your own cultural understanding, attitudes and approach to money and finance. So it's really important that cultural perspective is added into the design of products and services. It's key. In terms of topics like benefits or debt, it's really important to have the trust of the person receiving the advice. So you're more likely to build trust when the person who's giving you the advice really has empathy, understands where you come from, and gets it. And if they get it, plus they're giving you professional strategies and skills, that's really helpful in being able to navigate the strategy and get an effective result. Lived experience really enhances effective money advice and education, because lived experience means that the person you're talking to really is empathetic, compassionate, understands where you're coming from. And it also means there's less of a gap between the professional strategy and the expert advice they give you, because if you're a person who's in debt at that time and you know that a person in front of you has been through it themselves and they're on the other side, it's very encouraging and very impactful. So we believe that lived experience is really at the heart of delivery of advice as well in this sector. Yeah.
The future depends on young people having the tools to manage money wisely. High-quality education equips young people not just for today, but for lifelong financial resilience and independence.
So the strategies for lifelong money management skills for young people is ensuring that it is relevant to them and where they are at with their money journeys as well. So it has to be relevant, so it's got to be current. It also needs to be of a really high quality as well. And lastly, their skills need to be developed so they can share it with their own colleagues and friends as well. We think that's really important as well.
Accessible advice centres are scarce. Trained debt advisors are in short supply, and the mental health impacts of debt create another layer of challenge. Without addressing these obstacles, communities remain trapped in cycles of financial hardship.
So the biggest barriers, we see there's three big barriers at the moment. The first is that there's not enough places for people to go and get debt advice and support out there. I would say that demand far outstrips supply in terms of places to get high quality debt advice. Number two is that there is a shortage, you might say a labour shortage of trained debt advice providers out there. So there's not enough places for people to go. I mean, statistics showed that in one of the boroughs, one of the poorest boroughs in Newham, that you'd have one a debt advisor to over sort of 200 debt inquiries as well, and in some places even higher than that. So we need to train up more debt advisors. There's just not enough of them. And third, I would say that there is this kind of mental health barrier as well. People find it really hard to deal and manage with debt issues as well. They find it hard to access it as well, and the mental health compounds that and makes it even more difficult for people to get to the resolutions they need to overcome these challenges. I mean, there are two specific ways we think that government can have an impact in financial innovation. We think within the education system, within our national curriculum, that financial education needs to be current, relevant. It needs to be delivered by experts. So that's experts from the industry coming in, and needs to be consistent and quality checked as well. So that's one of the things we think can happen within the national curriculum and within the education policy. The other area that we think is really important is that within the workplace, employers, it's really important that they ensure that the financial well-being of their staff is within their service. So we believe it's an employer's duty of care to their staff and their employees to ensure that they have financial education and debt advice as well, support within any packages that help build the financial resilience of their teams. We think that is very key and important for policy for the government as well.
Change is possible. The government has a big role to play to implement legislation to embed financial resilience into the school system. Employers also have a massive role to play in ensuring employee financial well-being. The challenges are clear: financial discrimination, rising debt, and barriers to support affect millions, with consequences that ripple through families and communities. But so too are the solutions. Education, peer learning, culturally aware guidance, and accessible advice can empower people to take control of their finances, build resilience, and create opportunities for future generations.